Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel Crafty Concepts with Erin. I'm Erin and I have a scrapbook layout for you today. Now this is the Close to My Heart July through September 2022 catalog. And I'm going to flip open to the Backyard Bliss collection. If you've been watching my channel, I've done two layouts already. One garden, one not garden themed. But what I'm going to do today, let me lift this up and show you. I'm going to be focusing on the digital art collection. This is a collection of SVGs and I've downloaded it onto my computer and then uploaded it into Cricut Design Space, but it'll work with whatever cutting program you have. But this layout on the outside here, I'm going to be recreating that, but spoiler alert, it ends up looking nothing like the original layout. So hang tight to see how that turns out. I'm going to share my computer screen, so we'll go over here to images, and then I've got Backyard Bliss. I'm going to type in layout, and I do have it marked for my uploads, so that'll narrow it down. Then we'll click search, and I'm going to scroll down. Look at all these cute garden images. I love them. So there's the layout. We'll go ahead and select that and add to our canvas. Let me zoom this out just a little bit so you guys can see that and get it into the screen here. Right away, I know that I want two photos. What I'm going to do is ungroup this so I can change some of the elements but not affect the size of the others. So the photo mat here, I'm going to change. My photos are printed to 3.5 by 5. So I'm going to adjust these photo mats to fit that size. Now, truth be told, when they're a rectangle like that, I generally don't cut them with my Cricut. I end up cutting those by hand because I find it easier. So since I have two photos, I'm going to duplicate those. Let me move those little strawberries out of the way. And I just want to see that this is going to work. It's always nice to have a visual. You can make sure your photos are going to fit. And yes, that is going to look great. So let me bring this one forward here. And then the white circle in the background behind the photo mats, I don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And then I'm also going to hide the mat here. Whoops, not the wreath. Let's undo. We want that. So the actual Mink piece of cardstock, that's just a visual. I don't need to cut that because it's 12 by 12. So I'm going to hide that. And now we'll just click Make It. And we can select the mat and continue here. I am using the Cricut Explore Air 2. I love it. It works for me. And the fact that it's mint makes me super happy. That's one of the colors in my craft room. So I went ahead and got all the pieces cut out and I have them on my all-purpose mat. The reason I pulled in my all-purpose mat is because we're going to do a little ink blending. I have my little craft foam or craft brush, but Close to My Heart did come out with their own line of craft brushes and they're awesome. I'm super happy about that. They just put the color on nice and soft and they're just really comfortable to hold. Since I have pine cardstock, I'm using the pine ink to go around. And maybe you're like me or maybe not, but I feel like Cricut cuts can sometimes look a little flat. And there's a couple different things we can do to change that. And this is one of them. This is very simple. Just by adding some color around the edges, you're already adding some depth and dimension. So I'm going to clean off this brush just by swiping it on a piece of scratch paper. And then I'm moving to my Sage ink to do this leaf here. Now, another trick we can do to add some texture is to use an embossing stylus on these leaves. So let me get this inked up and then I'll show you what I mean. You're going to want to grab your VersaMat, flip it over so we have that soft spongy side, and then you're going to need an embossing stylus here. I flip my leaf over because I want the raised side on the front. So I'm just drawing a vein down the center of the leaf, and then I will do some little side veins going into each little nubby of the leaf here. And no rhyme or reason, but I think that's kind of what a leaf would look like. So now we have these raised edges, and since Close to My Heart cardstock has this white core, you can sand it, and it's going to reveal where you put your embossing lines. So you can see that's just bringing in some texture and interest to that leaf. The actual SVG did provide the tiny little veins for the leaves, but they were so tiny, there was no way I was going to adhere each and every one of those little guys. So you can see I did that to the strawberry leaves as well. Now, I have Mink ink, which is fun to say, but I like to add a little shadowing to my white petals. So just a soft gray, just something, because white on white wouldn't show up, so I like to use the gray. And Mink is a featured color in the Backyard Bliss, so we know it's going to coordinate beautifully. I'm going to use a little liquid glue to layer these together, and that way I can slide them into place. I won't make you watch all of the process, but aren't these strawberries so cute? I love how it cuts little seeds and then you have the black behind peeking through. And then this little bird's really cool. So you have the base I cut in Mocha, and then this little piece goes on the bottom. That's the lighter side of mink paper. And then we have the top and the wing. So I'm just going to glue this. I'm using the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I really do like that for tiny little pieces. And what I'm going to do with the wing here is use a couple of these 3D foam dots and lift that up. Now we have a cute little dimensional bird. So I'm going to bring in my VersaMat to work on, and then a piece of Mink Cardstock. I'm using the lighter side of mink to build my layout on rather than white daisy. That way this gorgeous wreath is going to show up. Look at how pretty that is. It's just so much texture and interest all on its own. So I have my photo mat here, and then I'll bring in my two photos. Aren't these cute? The boys were picking strawberries and of course eating more than they're picking, but I just have really fun memories of them in the garden. Typically, because they are facing this way, I would have this picture on the left-hand side looking in. But we have a lot of embellishing going on this side, and there's more room in the photo, you know, more areas of the photo that I don't mind if it gets covered up. So for this layout, I'm going to orient them like so. I do have the example layout off on the side of my desk, and I'm going to lay down the embellishments just how they have them. So this is cut from the shortbread paper, and then sage, and then this piece here is papaya. So we'll get those all layered up on top of the photo here. I think that's such a cute look. And how cute are those strawberries? So this leaf they have down here, and then these going right up the side here. We'll put a little flower, and then our strawberry blossoms, of course, right over the center of the leaves there. And then they have the cute little bird kind of perched right here. I'm curious, have you ever put together one of these pre-designed digital layouts? I really enjoy them, and I think they're super easy to customize. You know how I turned it from a single photo layout into a double photo layout, and then you can even switch up the colors to complement your photos. Now, I think this is adorable. It is super cute, and that came together so easily. But I have these pattern papers, and I can't help but wonder, because we have all the chicken wire in these strawberry hutches, and that's this background. And then, of course, this fun garden paper that's just kind of whimsical. And I'm wondering if it might be better. So I'm just going to take this apart and try to see if I can incorporate these papers. Before I completely dismantle it, let's just experiment and see what this is going to look like. So these are scraps. They're already cut down, and I'm just going to pop these under here to kind of see what it looks like. I may trim these down even further, but we're just kind of playing for now. So let's bring this in. I really like how this draws that red over to the other side. I think that is definitely a plus. And we'll pop these back into place up here because I think those are cute. Slide this in here. Love the layers. The layers are so fun. Okay, and plus that green draws the green up from the leaf here. I think that looks good. What I'm thinking is the white wreath in the background may be too much going on. So I'm going to take that out and we'll see how it looks. So I pulled out the wreath, and I can always save that for another project, but I do like this. I went ahead and trimmed down so we have a 1/2 inch margin all the way around, and then I inked that up with pewter ink. This is from the coordinating sticker sheet. It says Living in the Moment, and then I found this pocket card, The Sweet Life, and I thought that would be a really good title. So nope, that circle's not quite big enough. Let me grab the next size up. That one fits, so let's see if it's going to cover too much of our photo here. I think that's going to work. So I'll go ahead and get that die cut, and yeah, I don't like it. It disappears into the pattern paper. It's just not quite right. So then I found this in the Hope and Kindness die cuts. If those are still available, I will leave that listed in the description box below, along with everything else I used on today's project. But it is the craft color, and it doesn't show up on the background. So I have my Mocha ink and a little ink blending foam here, and I'm just pouncing the ink onto this so that we're darkening it. And Mocha is one of the featured colors in the Backyard Bliss collection, so I know that it's going to blend beautifully. So let me just go around. You are going to get inky fingers, but that's okay. That's part of the fun, right? Let's see if that pops off the background better. Oh yes, that definitely did the trick. Now I want my title to say Sweet Memories. So I typed in memories in my Evernote app where I keep track of all my stamps, and this one popped up along with some other options, but I thought this one might work the best. So I'm just gonna put that in the lower corner of my Misty Mini here and grab some candy apple red ink just to kind of complement those strawberries up in the upper right hand corner. Go ahead and give that a good press and see how that turned out. I think that could use one more layer, get it nice and dark. And then I'll go ahead and just cut this out. It doesn't have a coordinating thin cut, but that's okay because it's just a rectangle, although I do have a hard time cutting a straight line. Yes, I do. I know it's hard to believe, but I do. I'll be like, it's crooked. And then I keep taking more and more and more, and then there's nothing left. But I'm trying to be really careful here. And there, I think that looks good. So my thought is to layer this under this little space of between the W and the T. And I don't quite like the boldness of it. So I'm thinking if I cut off that outer red line, it will be less kind of like, hey, look at me. We want it to complement, not draw all the attention. So I went ahead and cut more of those flowers and one of the strawberries, another one of those leaves, just to have a little something over on this side to balance out that large embellishment cluster on the right. That's another plus of a digital collection. You could just cut more pieces as you need them. Now you'll notice the word memories, I changed to the Mocha color, and I think that blends in beautifully. And then I added a little bit of journaling just above the cluster on the left-hand side. It says Hayden and Clayton harvesting strawberries and the date. These photos were taken in 2016. It's so long ago. They were so little. If this layout was inspiring, or if you picked up a few tips or tricks, give me a thumbs up, and that lets YouTube know you are enjoying the content. Here's a few more videos to inspire you, and check the description box below for everything I used on today's project. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!